Today we'll be talking about Pixar's very latest film brought to us from the people who made Inside Out, and it's by Pixar as well. It's Pixar's very own The Incredible... Turning Red. They're not the same movie. Turning Red is directed by Dami Shi. It's the latest Disney Pixar movie, and it stars Rosalie O'Shang and Sandra Oh. And it tells the story of a young 13-year-old girl who lives in Canada. She's a normal girl. She likes to hang out with friends, and they like boys' bands. But she soon finds out any strong emotion, any at all, will cause her to turn into a giant red panda due to a mystical connection they have to them in their family's past. This ensues a whole bunch of adventures, chaos, and fun. Turning Red was one of those movies I was really looking forward to seeing. As I said before, I saw the trailer for it in the theater when I was with my sister watching American Underdog, and it made me laugh, and I thought that was something worth checking out. And, I'm not the biggest Disney Pixar fan, I'll admit it. I'm not always crazy about the movies came out, but this one looked really interesting to me. And, if for some reason didn't go to theaters, I think it's probably because people were scared of the competition that Batman could put out, so it went straight to Disney, and I saw it. And I have some thoughts on this movie. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I was not a big fan of this movie. This movie is not something that I enjoy watching. I didn't find the humor very good, and the script was kind of average to me. I don't mean to make this movie seem like a subpar Pixar movie, but it does very much seem like it. The movie also is very strange the way it is. It doesn't feel very much like a Pixar child movie. The movie's by no means bad. It's just not as impressive as I think it should have been or could have been. This movie had so much potential, at least to me anyway, despite the fact that I did rather feel just kind of seemed like an Incredible Hulk kind of knockoff, but it seemed like it in a fun sort of way. And after seeing the movie, I do have to admit I'm quite let down. But let's talk about the positives and let's talk about the performances. First off, Rosalia Shang, who's the girl who plays Mei Lin, or I think her name's Mei Lin or Mei Li. I forget her name. I'm sorry. I've heard a lot in the trailers, but honestly, I don't remember now. But she's really good in this movie. She brings a fun sort of energy. She really conveys a lot with her voice, and she has a great charisma and good comedic timing. Sandra Oh in this movie, she's really good as well. I think she did a good job, and I think pretty much all the voice performances in this movie are really good. They all do a fantastic job of what they have, and exaggerating their performances to such an extent that it's funny and somewhat relatable oftentimes, particularly with her friend group. I think everyone there did really good. That's not where the problem lies with this movie, because the animation also in this movie is excellent. It looks great. It is fantastic what they managed to do with this movie. The textures in particular looked really nice, and a lot of the ways they decided to shoot the movie with angles and stuff, I think was very good. The problem is with the story, with the characters, but mainly with the jokes. So the story, I don't necessarily need a big story. This is a Pixar movie about someone who's turning into a panda. I just more or less need a logical reason for it. And the reasons offered weren't really things that I cared for. Also, the characters in the movie all seem like, I don't know, they're not the normal Pixar characters we get. Pixar usually gives us much better characters, and so does Disney. Encanto, which was not a Pixar movie but a Disney movie, gave us some of the best characters that I've seen in a while, and was one of my favorite movies last year. And this movie didn't feel like it could live up to that. And this movie also, mainly, like I said before, the jokes aren't very funny. I barely laughed in this movie. I chuckled a few times and I giggled, and that was about it. Now, maybe this is just because it's not my sense of humor, or maybe this is made more for kids, but I don't know. I just didn't feel this movie really was that amusing of a film. It was very okay. It felt very beneath what Disney and Pixar could do, and I wasn't thrilled. The music in this movie also was a bit of a letdown, and I know that Pixar usually turns out very good soundtracks, so for me this was also something that wasn't something that you could excuse, and I think they should have been able to do much better, but wasn't done properly. This movie overall, I think, it'll probably entertain kids. I think you will see kids that will all watch this movie, have a fun time with it, and that's fine because I think that's mainly what this movie's geared towards. It also it's very much a girl film because it's a very girl centric film, and there's things that take place in it that happen to girls when they're 13 and they're going through puberty. Because essentially, like everybody in here has been saying, the red panda represents puberty in this movie. That's just how it goes, and it's kind of a nice idea and it's good, but Like, it isn't always executed perfectly again, and it does get to be a little, but it's a very good idea, and at times, it is done exceptionally well. And I think this movie will probably entertain you. Do I think it's all that good? No. Do I think you should turn it on Disney Plus? Honestly, you're good either way. I don't think you're missing anything if you don't watch it, and I don't think you get anything really ridiculously good if you do watch it. I don't really have anything against this movie. I just wasn't very entertained by it. I'm gonna give Turning Red 5 out of 10. Thanks as always, guys, for watching, and I'm sorry. I tried, and I'm really disappointed by this movie not being as impressive as it can be. But that's just my opinion. Check it out if you want to. And as always, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.